Broadcasting live from atop the Rocky Mountains, the crossroads of the West. You are listening to the Liberty Roundtable Radio Talk Show.
Israel wants war. China wants war. The U.S. Supreme Court saying the feds might have too much power. Does Donald want war? It sure seems like it. Everybody wants war. The economy's melting down. Let's see. When did Donald say we were going to be out of this war? Started on February the 28th. By the way, happy to have you along, my fellow Americans. I'm Sam Bushman. This is Liberty Roundtable Live, hard-hitting news the networks refuse to use, and it all starts now. Well, all I'm telling you is, when did Donald say the war would end? He said, we're just going to do this flash in the pan, take them all out. February 28th, no worries. Then he said, hey, 3 weeks, we'll be done. Now what are we at? As far as I can tell, it's April 23rd, folks. So all of March, 31 days. April, 23 days. 31, 23, 41, 51, 54. You know, we're already at 54 plus days. That's over 7 weeks, almost 8 weeks now. And I don't see the end in sight, do you? They say we've got a ceasefire, but now we're told there's no ceasefire. We have a situation where we're blocking the Strait of Hormuz, and so are they. So you got a double blockade happening. That's not going to be resolved anytime soon, as far as I can tell. And now the headline says this: Israel expands military operations in Gaza as ceasefire talks stall. So I kind of ask myself, what does that even mean? When ceasefire talks stall, it means what? Arm the torpedoes? Donald saying the war's going to be over. When does it end? Well, whenever his gut says so. The Senate tried to have the Democrats push back and rein in the Donald. It failed because the Republicans support Trump. So now Congress not taking any action on this. Well, so while Israel's expanding, China is in the news too. China warns the U.S. over Taiwan after new arms package announced. So even though we're in debt, $38 trillion and growing at an alarming rate, China issued a formal protest on April 22nd, 2026, following a new U.S. arms package to Taiwan, valued at several $billions. So while they won't rein in Donald Trump on war, while our military capabilities deplete to alarmingly low rates, we're now giving a bunch of money to Taiwan, giving a bunch of money to what? Russia? Yeah, because we're lifting oil embargoes on Russia, etc. And so we're literally allowing Russia to make money. Then we back what? The Ukraine? Even though this guy's got a stolen painting on his wall and he's the good guy. I don't even know how to respond to this. Why would China be funding Taiwan? Well, we have to, Sam. Most of our products come from Taiwan and China. And well, the last thing we need is a blow up between Taiwan and China, fostered by us. China issues a formal protest. Who are they issuing that to? The World Court? I don't even know how this works. Domestically, though, the U.S. Supreme Court hears a major case on federal agency power. So where this is going to go, we don't know. We don't usually hear their final edicts from on high, if you will, until like June. So it's a couple of months. But we usually hear when they bring up a case and we hear that they're debating it, and we get kind of a glimpse into their thinking, and then we're forced to wait till the end of the, what do you call it? The season? Is it like sports? Anyway, we've got to wait till the end of the judiciary review there in June. But the Supreme Court heard arguments April 22nd, as far as I understand, in a case that could limit the authority of federal regulatory agencies. What does that mean? It means the federal government might get their hands slapped because you got all these bureaucratic agencies that are flat out unconstitutional, that violate the checks and balances well known in the supreme law of our land, that are in question now, where people are going, hey, man, you guys don't have authority to do that. You guys can't mandate and dictate and this and that and whatever, right? And so now we're wondering about federal agency power. How much can they mow over the states? How much could they? And one of the key issues in this, in my mind, is election fraud. The general government saying, hey, we want to see these different state voter rolls. And some of the states are going, no, you can't see them. And the general government says, yes, we can. Congress is in charge of this. And now the debate's on. Who's got what authority when? You know, this debate really was solved years ago. 28, 29, how many ever years, I can't remember. The Sheriff Mack, Prince Mack versus U.S. case highlights this so well. And highlights that, you know what, the feds can't mandate the states do anything. But how much power does the general government have? And when you talk about federal agencies, that's downstream from the checks and balances, right? You have Congress, that's the legislative body. You have the executive, meaning the president, or all the way down to your sheriff on the local level. You got the attorney general, which represents the courts. You got the legislative, you got the president. Okay, but these agencies oftentimes blur those checks and balances. I might even go as far as to say obliterate more than blur, right? Because you look at this and you go, okay. So anyway, that's going to be debated. And a lot of downstream agencies made all kinds of regulatory rules. That got slapped down in the courts a year or two ago. I can't remember the word of that court case, but that's stopping. And now you've got this interesting twist domestically as well. Major cyber attack disrupts healthcare system across multiple states. A coordinated, quote, cyber attack on April 21st, happened a couple days ago, impacted hospital networks in at least 5 states, delaying procedures, diverting patients, just causing a disaster. Now we're saying AI is a big problem. Corporations are moving ahead with AI despite the concerns of how it will be used militarily, despite how it will be used domestically, meaning will it be turned into a spy tool against all of us? Anything you share with AI will and can and will be used against you? Is that what we're kind of experiencing? Is that what we're seeing? Is that what's going on? So I don't know. We got weather in the Midwest really causing all kinds of havoc. Power out to a lot of people. Hurricane season is about to kick off in June. So the court finally finishes their adjudication in June. We'll see the results. The tightropes the court walks in that in June. And the hurricane season is going to crank up. You say hurricane, Sam. What are you talking? Hurricane season. I say hurricane because it's a town in Utah, spelled hurricane, but you call it hurricane. Anyway, I don't know why, but you just know people aren't from around there if they don't say hurricane. Anyway, you got this hurricane season coming up. You got the crazy weather that's taking place down in the Midwest, tornadoes and all this kind of stuff. You've got weather cooling and weather warming and weather heating, and I mean, it's crazy town. For me, it's super rainy and cold here in Utah. And then you got driverless cars running around. And the latest says driverless car malfunctions, circles city block repeatedly before they were forced to manually shut that baby down. Yeah, an autonomous vehicle operated by Waymo, I guess, reportedly became stuck in a navigational loop in a suburban area, circling the same block in the same area over and over and over. They call it a software glitch or sensor error before technicians intervened remotely to disable the vehicle. So they had to remotely, manually adjust that dude. And I'm just going, what kind of a world do we live in, people? I mean, I support technology as much as the next guy. I make my living in technology, so I get it. I understand that. I embrace it. I like it. I got it. But at some point, I'm going, man, you don't know any of your neighbors because of technology. You know everybody online. You don't need neighborhood watch because there's cameras everywhere now. The government's watching. I mean, whoever's watching. You don't need, and we go on and on. Drivers or, cars drive themselves. You've got this, you've got that. And we think AI is going to take over the world. And this autonomous vehicle just gets stuck in a loop and a manual stoppage has to happen. Someone has to remotely log in and go, hey, man, car, just stop. Just don't go anywhere, just stop. And then what are they going to do? Have somebody download the software and watch the logs and say what happened event by event before this thing got in a crazy loop? Is that the deal? All right. Do you want to take a social media challenge? I don't think so. This one's psychotic. We'll tell you about it. I'm Sam Bushman. You're watching one and only Liberty Roundtable Live.
Are you watching what's happening in our country and asking, what can I do? Join the John Birch Society in Salt Lake City, June 6th, for a powerful one-day conference. The day includes a host of respected speakers, 2 meals, and meaningful connections. You'll gain clarity on the issues and walk away with practical steps you can take to your community. Reserve your seat today at jbs.org/SLC26. That's jbs.org/SLC26.
The Foundation for Moral Law is a nonprofit legal foundation committed to protecting our unalienable right to publicly acknowledge God. The Foundation for Moral Law exists to restore the knowledge of God in law and government and to acknowledge and defend the truth that man is endowed with rights not by our fellow man, but by God. The Foundation maintains a twofold focus. First, litigation within state and federal courts. Second, education, conducting seminars to teach the necessity and importance of acknowledging God in law and government. How can you help? Please make a tax-deductible contribution, allowing Foundation attorneys to continue the fight. You may also purchase various Foundation products as well at morallaw.org. Located in Montgomery, Alabama, the Foundation for Moral Law is a nonprofit, tax-exempt 501c3 founded by Judge Roy Moore. Please partner with us to achieve this important mission. morallaw.org.
All right, back with you live, ladies and gentlemen. Sam Bushman. Hard-hitting news the networks refuse to use continues now. All right, let's see. We had this coordinated cyber attack on the healthcare industry. That's not good. We have this driverless car malfunctioning. That's crazy. But now we have, I don't know how to say this word, CHROMING, chroming. It's a new term. It's a social media challenge sending dozens of teens to hospitals nationwide. It's like, what? Yeah, it's a dangerous trend known as chroming. Participants inhale household chemicals or aerosols and they get a quick high. What? It's led to multiple hospitalizations now across the United States. Medical experts are warning of risks. The risks aren't too big. Just things like brain damage, cardiac arrest, sudden death, that kind of stuff. So it's not really too big of a deal. You might want to try it. It's not, the repercussions aren't too bad. No, are you kidding me right now? This is insanity, people. Okay, don't do this. Now, what's interesting is people have inhaled household chemicals or aerosols for quite some time. The joke is, are you if somebody's kind of off their rock or saying something they ought to not say or having a viewpoint on something that you think is crazy, you're like, hey man, have you been sniffing glue? So, it's this isn't anything new. But I guess the reason I'm bringing it up is because it's kind of the latest, I don't know what you want to call it, social media trend, social media challenge. These social media challenges people are doing are just stupidity on steroids. It is crazy town, right? Anyway, so there you have that. I don't know how to respond to this, too. We reported on Tuesday with Sheriff Richard Mack these 11 scientists that have died or gone missing in very strange situations, right? And the FBI, as far as I understand, is looking into it. Many people think that's a good sign. I'm not one of them. Why? Because the FBI is usually involved in cover-ups. They usually investigate things, get all the facts, get all the details, and then classify everything so that no one can ever get to the bottom of stories and cases. So I don't have a lot of trust for the FBI. I hoped Kash Patel was going to turn that around and get that done, but now Kash Patel just seems to be under scandal after scandal after scandal, and he seems to be making promises that he can never keep. I mean, Donald Trump said we were going to be having arrests in the election fraud scandal soon. That was months ago. And then Kash Patel's been repeating it over the last several weeks, but I ain't seen nothing yet. Kash Patel then sues the media, and then the judge just throws it out and says, hey, it's hyperbole. You can say or do anything you want. Now, I think that's wrong for the courts, right for Kash Patel. But again, he's all tied up in his girlfriend scenario, and is he a drunk or not? And I mean, it's just a waste of time stuff. I want to be focusing on the business of the people. But anyway, I digress, except for these scientists have been dying or missing in very strange circumstances, and the FBI wants to look into it and try to see if there's anything to it. Right now, they claim there's nothing really to it except for it's weird, but they don't have any pay dirt or evidence or whatever term you want to relate to this. But now the Gateway Pundit has a story that I think is worth discussing related to this. It's very interesting. Headline says this: 29-year-old NASA nuclear engineer, they call him a propulsion engineer, who was reported missing, found dead, and burned out Tesla wreck. All right, so this engineer's making tons of money working for NASA there, buys a Tesla. This is the Gateway Pundit with this piece. They get credit for it. And the Gateway Pundit, by the way, does a great job. I'm quite pleased with their reporting and what they do. They've done a lot of good for a long time. Anyway, but the deal is the circumstances in which this guy died is very weird. His name is Joshua LeBlanc, I think is his name. And he's a propulsion engineer. And so they say another death is resurfacing in renewed attention. It is what is becoming an alarming and disturbing pattern of, quote, accidental deaths or missing persons involving America's top nuclear and aerospace scientists. Boy, that's to say the least, isn't it? The 29-year-old NASA engineer specializing in nuclear propulsion technology was found burned beyond recognition. Wow. Inside his charred Tesla after a single vehicle crash. When? Last July. I know. Why are we hearing about it now? I don't know. That is a good question. And that's kind of part of the problem, right? According to, quote, Fox News, Joshua LeBlanc was a rising star at National Marshall Space Flight Center in Huntsville, Alabama. He specialized in nuclear propulsion, as we mentioned. He served as the team lead for NASA's space nuclear propulsion. Anyway, he was on all these high-tech projects. And I don't really understand because it was a single car crash. His car veered off the road, slammed into a guardrail and several trees. Wow. About 2 hours from his home in Huntsville, Alabama. The Alabama Law Enforcement Agency confirmed the vehicle, of course, Tesla, erupted in flames, leaving little for investigators to work with. So you got this high-tech guy that's just prospering in his career, doing phenomenal, 2 hours from his home, just single car crash, and wow, the thing just burns up to where It was even difficult to identify the body and everything else. But here's where the story gets even more interesting and troubling and starts to raise serious flags, right? Maybe foul play, maybe a cover-up, right? LeBlanc's family reported him missing at 4:32 a.m. that same day after he uncharacteristically failed to show up for work. Yeah, they say his blue Tesla model had been tracked, sitting for 4 hours at Huntsville International Airport, just minutes from his apartment before it headed out on rural back roads. His last known communications was early in the morning. And I don't even know how to respond to this. So you get this situation where he goes to the airport, hangs out there, right? I don't understand. Why would his car be 4 hours at the airport, then he gets into it and bails out in the bush and wrecks? And then everything's completely like obliterated to where you can't discover anything. The family of Joshua Blanc or LeBlanc is searching for answers. They're kind of not thinking what we're told is true about this thing. So I don't know how to respond to this story, except for this is kind of what we mean when we talked about the 11 stories on Tuesday. I just wanted to follow up on one of them because the Gateway Pundit had a great expose on it, so to speak. Really important news story, in my opinion. And you kind of go, these are the examples to where they're just weird. And what the FBI would say is, well, we don't have any hard evidence that there's anything really here. We don't really see a pattern or see anything too crazy. And my response is, this story alone is crazy enough. This guy's a rock star at NASA, working in Huntsville, Alabama. He's on top propulsion teams for NASA and everybody else, a rock star. And then all of a sudden, hey, he drives his Tesla to the airport, hangs out for like 4 hours, then bails out in the bush and just disintegrates. I don't know how to respond to all that. It's a very, very strange, scary situation. And here's the biggest problem. Can you trust the FBI? They'll get to the bottom of it. Can you trust that the FBI is going to tell you anything? The truth? Nothing but the truth? Anyway, I don't even know how to respond to this thing because it's like crazy town. You got all kinds of government agencies reporting on these stories. You got the news reporting on these stories, and nothing seems to add up or make any sense. It's an alarming and disturbing pattern. But they say it's not really a pattern. There's no pattern. What? It depends on how you define pattern, I guess, right? They would say there's no pattern because they don't understand what's going on. They don't know how to respond to this. They don't know how to deal with this. The family's just going, there's a pattern here. The pattern is this isn't Josh. The pattern is it makes no sense to do what he supposedly did. And the other question that I have is this. If we're going to promote electric vehicles everywhere, there's a story in the mainstream news today where Tesla is going to go ahead and work on a way to release less expensive electric vehicles. China is doing similar things. They really want us to be in electric. But I got a question. If he really wrecked his own car by himself, he got distracted, went off the road, hit some trees, and he was in a regular gas vehicle, do you think everything would be burned completely beyond recognition? I don't think so. It's not impossible, but it's super, super unlikely. Don't get an electric vehicle, folks. That's my takeaway. Just my opinion to which I'm entitled. Thanks for being alongside for the ride. You want to check out award-winning broadcasts, LibertyRoundtable.com, LibertyNewsRadio.com. Check us out in video. YouTube, Rumble, X, we're everywhere, baby. Truth Social, the list go on and on. I'm Sam Bushman, and God save the Republic of the United States of America.